Welcome to KRA's The Hub, the official podcast of KRA Corporation. And now get ready to hear workforce topics and trends you need to know on the go.
Welcome to KRA's The Hub podcast. This is your host, Jonathan Overall. And today we are continuing our Get to Know KRA series. And our topic today is business services. Now, going back a few years, when WIOA was first launched in 2015, it really challenged workforce providers to rethink how we serve both the job seeker and businesses. From the very start, KRA took the call very seriously in building a business-centered, consultative approach that prioritized employers in our workforce services. Now, that approach became the KRA way, listening first, understanding what businesses need, and creating solutions that align with talent and opportunity. Today, nearly a decade later, the world of work looks very different, yet the foundation still holds very strong. The role of businesses has never been more important, and the way that we engage them continually evolves. Now, in this episode, we're going to take a look inside at how KRA is leading that evolution. And joining me are two people that are working within KRA, colleagues of mine, Thomas Thornton from Summit and Medina Counties in Ohio, the business services manager. Also joining me, Donna Eissoh from Rancho Dominguez, our program in Los Angeles County, also the business services manager of the program there. Thomas, Donna, welcome to the Hub.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Well, Thomas, Donna, to start, could each of you introduce yourselves and share a little bit about your background and what brought you into workforce development and specifically business services?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Jonathan. It's always great to be part of the KRA activities and the podcast as well. So my name is Donna Eissoh. I am the business service manager at AJCC Rancho Dominguez. Currently, KRA is the provider for the AJCC here in LA. I hold a bachelor's in sociology and a master's in international relations, development and negotiation. My start with workforce development was as a job developer with the Los Angeles County Department of Public Social Services, also known as DPSS. I was the job developer in the San Fernando Valley, moved my way to work with the South Bay Workforce Investment Board as a career services coordinator, and I'm currently a business service manager here at the AJCC. My background in development within the international world really ties into business development here in Los Angeles. Surprisingly, it's not really that different. International development of businesses and the development of businesses here in the United States also has a lot of connections in regards to building relationships and starting contracts and learning more about possible grants and opportunities for those businesses. Kind of is the same in the international world as the United States. But also my education in sociology helps me understand the background of the different areas in Los Angeles. So AJCC Rancho, we are in Compton, and both of my degrees and previous experiences really tie into being able to support and help both the clients and the businesses in this part of LA.
Yeah, and for my background, Jonathan, I'm a successful management consultant who brings over 27 years of strategic sales and marketing leadership skills to KRA and to our Ohio Means Jobs team. My previous work with category-leading Fortune 500 consumer packaged goods companies in leading profitable growth is what brought me into workforce development and ultimately business services. What's most gratifying about the role for me here at Ohio Means Jobs is the opportunity for us to make a positive difference for the customers, the companies, and the communities that we serve.
Well, Thomas, I'll start with you with this first question. Can you give us a snapshot? You lead a team that spans two different counties, Summit and Medina Counties in Ohio. Tell us what's unique about the local economy and the business environment that's present in that region.
Will do, and thank you for the question. I would say, so Summit County, Ohio, the county seat is Akron, Ohio, where our offices are located, population of 538,000 approximately. I'd say top three features of the economy here is a polymer industry hub. You've got major employers like Goodyear, Bridgestone, PPG, but a very diverse industry base, really medical, technical, manufacturing sectors representing greater than 50% of the mix, and great education opportunities at Stark State College and the University of Akron. It's a strategic location. We're located within a 500-mile radius of 60% of the US population. So those companies that are based here, you'll see one of the areas of growth right now is the supply chain area because of the tremendous opportunity that presents a number of global companies to do business here. So that helps with respect to future prospects in Summit County. Medina County, smaller, 182,000, features of which I would say, at this point it's a fast growing county, lowest unemployment in the state. Technically, it shows up as the third lowest of 88 counties, but it is truly the lowest unemployment when you look at those other that have better employment. It's in very agricultural areas. Medina is actually close enough to the Cleveland and Akron metros, and it's the fastest growing county as a result of that. Strong manufacturing growth, very high employment, as we mentioned, but a number of very positive economic development initiatives being led by Medina County Economic Development Corporation. And we work very closely with those groups in really helping to implement programs like our on-the-job training, for example, or being an active part in job fairs. Some of the things that we do in collaboration with those counties.
That's great. Now, Donna, to you, I want to ask, what does the employer and the industry landscape look like in LA County and specifically in Rancho Dominguez?
LA County is very big in a sense. So we do have a lot of different sectors per se, a lot of different industries, mostly IT and healthcare kind of are the biggest ones here in LA County. But specifically for Compton, I think the geographical location of Compton is very ideal for the different sectors that we work with here. We're very close to both the Los Angeles and the Long Beach ports, which kind of gives us the ability to become a real estate, and particularly in logistics and distribution. We're able to be a good, beneficiaries of our geographical location. But overall, Compton is categorized by a mix of, manufacturing, healthcare, transportation, along with education. So we really have a lot going on in Compton, but also the Compton Redevelopment Agency has called for the ability to reshape and support the booming of small businesses in the area. So we're definitely divided in the sense that we have a lot of different sectors that we can have here in Compton, but also the look for the small business support and the foster of local businesses development is huge here in LA County.
Now, Thomas, you described Summit, Medina County, two different counties. The workforce is different, the industries and the feel of both of those counties are different. In the makeup of your team, serving businesses in both of those counties, connecting job seekers in both of those counties, what does the makeup and the approach of your business services team look like to be able to serve two unique areas within the workforce region?
That's great. I appreciate the question. I would say that the team is comprised of myself, Mary Teagle in Summit County, Scott Davis in Summit County, and a new employee coming on board with us, business service representative Thomas Martin, in the next week for Medina County. So we've split the team up, two in Summit County and myself, but we're very collaborative as a group, and all of us can talk to the elements, the businesses in both counties. But there are very specific and unique opportunities and challenges in both areas. And our primary mission is to connect employers with qualified job seekers. And we do that through really, I'll call it identifying skills and aptitudes needed for specific roles, making sure that the postings are actively involved at Ohio Means Jobs, but also in our hot jobs that we share with our career coaches. We're involved in the assistance with recruiting candidates via email, phone, resume screening, and assisting our career services team in trying to find the best possible matches, if you will. We do on-site and some virtual, but mostly on-site hiring events that have been very successful in both counties. Summit tracks much larger in the response, as does, versus Medina, but Medina has such low unemployment. They're also very successful. It's just different in both counties, the type of reaction, just using hiring events as one measure. The key is collaborating with career service colleagues to showcase hot job opportunities for customers in their respective caseloads. The more we can make those combinations work, the more successful we are in getting the placements that we're charged to provide the client and ultimately to serve our community. So primarily job postings on Ohio Means Jobs, on-the-job training programs that we do with a number of different companies, greater than 30, incumbent worker training, and we serve as an active member of economic development committees in both counties and are very active in trying to network with the chambers and getting the word out.
That's great. Yeah, that connection with economic development and the local chambers is such an important part of the ecosystem of business services and for the businesses themselves, but also for business services representatives to be able to connect the employers to the greater network of resources. Donna, to you, you mentioned a wide range of different industries within the county. Also, Rancho Dominguez, specifically the location of your AJCC, is more logistics and transportation. How is your team structured to meet the regional and the local needs where you're located there?
Yeah, wonderful question, Jonathan. Thank you for that. So my team is there's myself as the business service manager, and I also have two business service reps, Jasmine Montez, and we currently just hired the second business service rep starting at the end of the month. So for our team, it's a little bit different in a sense that we work with our chambers of commerces and with the our partner, which is LAEDC, the Los Angeles Economic Development Corporation, and we kind of meet together, host roundtables events for our businesses. We also work with the chambers of commerce and attend their meetings, which allows us to be introduced to different businesses in the area, whether they're small businesses or bigger organizations. But what we usually do as the business service team here is we cater to the fields of interest of our clients. Of course, that is the number one priority for us here at the AJCC. But what we also do is we go in person. A lot of the interactions we have with our businesses are more in-person interactions where we go visit their site. We invite them over to our AJCC and introduce them to the different work that we do, introduce them to the different members of the team. We also work with them on learning what they are looking for or what kind of support that they are looking for. A lot of the businesses here in Compton specifically, or the Rancho Dominguez area, focuses on this with a focus on the small businesses. We kind of do an overall assessment of business needs when we meet with them. So it goes from recruiting to looking for grants to maybe support with marketing, and we kind of check check mark which of these needs the business has, and we are able then to go ahead and support them in that sense, whether it is with connecting them with LAEDC for certain grants or connecting them with the cities that they are held in. So we are in Rancho and Compton mostly, but we do get business partners throughout LA County. which allows us the ability to work with the different cities as well and learning about the grants. We are also members of 3 different chambers of commerce for Compton alone, along with 3 other cities that we are members of the Chamber of Commerce in here in Los Angeles. Another specific portion of what we do is in regards to the Center of Excellence that we have here for our AJCC, which is specifically with the healthcare sector. So the Los Angeles County AJCCs are kind of divided into different Center of Excellences for the different sectors that the county has assigned. And for us here at Rancho, we were assigned the healthcare field. So we do specific outreach and specific roundtables for that as well, which allows us to learn more about the field as a whole and allows us to connect with both training providers and business partners.
Now, Thomas, this next question is for you. You mentioned at the top your background in business development, management consulting, before you came into workforce development. How has that shaped your approach to leading your team and the strategy of business services? And what would you say and have been some best practices in your approach that have been most effective in building strong employer relationships?
I would say, first and foremost, much of what has worked previously in good client relationship, business development practices, working with clients to understand their ultimate end user and their business, is really active listening and active involvement. I think we even talked about it at the beginning of the call, this whole idea of a deep understanding of employer needs and making sure that we listen to understand that. So as part of that, the keys that have helped us is industry-specific insights that we can share and demonstrate alignment with as we go forward with respect to communicating to our respective teams what's required. Also, the way we work together with respect to program implementations. It's really this idea of a consultative approach, which just carries forward more deeply with workforce development. But that same idea of a consultative approach and leading with innovation, I think, are the 2 key areas that differentiate how KRA works with our partners and how we serve our client. That co-designing of solutions, if you will, very collaborative program development. I can think of a number of different clients where meeting them where they are and helping them to achieve the goals that they have. I think that's been the key to success. It's also making sure there's a feedback loop mechanism in place so that when things don't go as we had intended, we didn't get the results we'd hoped, that at least there's the very, very transparent conversation about ways we can improve. And I think making sure that's actively, corrective action processes that take place, let's say, as well as making sure we repeat best practices, but having a comfort dialogue with our clients, I think that really helps us. And again, having data to back up what it is and how we're evaluating these things, and making sure there's agreement that what we're measuring is consistent with everyone's expectations, right? And I guess it goes to a comment Donna made earlier around the relationship management practices we have with our clients. And it's regular attendance at chamber meetings, at economic development meetings. It's making sure that we respond sometimes on very short notice to a particular client need and client question. There's some of those things that really help us because people can count on us and they know they can. So I think it's those types of things that are similar, maybe in private industry in some respects, but even more so, I think, with workforce development.
Hearing from you and knowing your background, just really that sense of building trust and asking the right questions, actively listening. I like what you said, working together to come up with the solutions that work best for the customer. And I want to segue from there into my next question for Donna. You and I had an opportunity recently to present at NODUP's 2025 Business Services Academy. And the title of the workshop was Beyond the Cold Call. And one of the key threads, building off of what Thomas just mentioned, was the need for authenticity, building authentic relationships with employers. We're in the age of AI, automation of sales, automation of cold calling, and going beyond that is such a key. And one of the things that was featured in that has been the strategy of employer roundtables. And that has been an effective part. You just mentioned that briefly in relation to the LA County strategy. What have you learned from employers through those discussions, and how has that helped shape your strategy of enhancing and building off of the business services that you provide?
Yeah. Thank you, Jonathan. That was an important, conference that we attended. A lot of great ideas, a lot of great presentations during that conference. In regards to business roundtables, I would say that aside from the fact that they help the AJCCs or the workforce development professionals in general build that authentic relationship with the employers, they also introduce the employers to certain programs that they were not necessarily aware of in the general, let's discuss how we can fulfill your recruitment efforts. So one thing that I saw coming out of the roundtables is how much the employers have appreciated the different services that they were introduced to, that they did not necessarily learn about or hear about from. For example, here at our AJCC, we do provide on-the-job training through the WIOA program, and we do provide the transitional jobs support for the businesses and the clients. And some of the business partners that this was their first time joining our roundtables were not necessarily aware of those services that are able to be provided for them. And I think that the roundtables kind of introduced them to these services and allowed them to know these programs. But I also think that connecting employers and businesses together is also another great outcome of these roundtables. A lot of the businesses share similar struggles at time or similar problems that they are having at their locations, and to learn and to hear that other businesses are also going through the same situation or learning of a way that they were able to manage a certain outcome is really supportive and helpful for these businesses. I also think that the roundtables, going back to your comment, Jonathan, they do create a strong, authentic relationship between us as the workforce development professionals and those businesses, to show them that we are not just here to have your clients or our clients work for you. We're really here to support you. We're really here to provide you with whatever needs you're looking for by presenting the different programs and the different opportunities that we have for our partners. So yeah, I think the business roundtables kind of provide that additional trust and additional authenticity to the relationship for sure.
Now, I want to talk about impact. One of the themes this year for our programs and the direction of our company is the focus that we are an economic impact organization. And ultimately, the results show up in the stories and the impact that we're having for job seekers and businesses. And I want to throw this question to both of you. I'll start with you, Thomas. Could you share a success story that, in your mind, really captures the value of KRA's business services approach in your region, perhaps with a business that you've had the opportunity to work with?
Absolutely. I would say it's almost the combination of the business roundtable discussion we had earlier. It started there and it has evolved, but two front. It would be Welser Profile, an Austrian-German company that has a North American headquarters in Valley City, western portion of Medina County. And it was a chance to get together with the success element of this was having a couple of thought leaders, a CEO of Welser Profile, take ownership of pulling together his counterparts from about 19 companies in a particular industrial park in Valley City, and getting them around the table to talk about their current workforce development challenges, and an open and less formal manner initially. And that enabling us to eventually get to the success that came from that were a number of OJT programs in a few of these different companies, the agreement to have a separate hiring event outside of the center of Medina County, but to try that part of the idea of where can we do things differently to try to influence the business there. And that has stimulated us being involved with the Medina County Economic Development Corporation, their involvement working and including us in their manufacturing council, whereby last Friday they had the Austrian Chamber of Commerce in Medina County speak with a different group, a larger group, probably 25 to 30 CEOs in Medina County, to listen to ideas coming from the Austrian government chamber about apprenticeships and how that model would be a perfect fit for what Medina County's trying to accomplish. And it was spearheaded by, again, that's something that was in play with the Medina County Economic Development Corporation. But the highlight for us is we were asked to come to that, and at least Ohio Means Jobs was in the room with this same group in the Manufacturers Council. And that has translated, we can go into the results in some of the job fairs that came as a result, but I would say that particular involvement, and then us also in Akron being invited with the polymer industry cluster. There's a workforce and education component to that PIC group, and we've been asked to represent that on a monthly basis to talk about programming and to be of assistance to the companies that are around the table there on a regular basis. I'd say those were the two major ones related to using business roundtables and helping that to drive results.
And to you, Donna?
Yeah, well, one of the success stories that we love sharing here at the AJCC is our work with our partner Gold Leaf. We were able to support the business after they started as a youth work site. So one thing that I like being in a comprehensive AJCC is that we end up working with both our youth and our adult clients. So yeah, Gold Leaf is the parent company to many other divisions and companies within. We were able to support Gold Leaf in staffing / I want to say providing them with certain reimbursements under the OJT program on the job training program, along with the incumbent worker training program, where they were able to promote within the company, which is one of the programs that I really love here at the AJCC. We were able to support them in providing 3 promotions through the different services at the AJCC, along with a total of 4 on-the-job trainings, and those are divided within their other companies that fall under Gold Leaf. But the main relationship started when we went to a site visit along with our youth program business service management team, and we were able to establish that relationship. We met with them a few times after that and provided the different services that we provide here at the AJCC, but they loved the initial contact and the in-person relation that we were able to build by doing those visits ahead of time, and the introduction to the different services that we provided. So yeah, the in-person contact kind of made a huge difference for the business, and they felt comfortable coming to us with the different needs that their other organizations within the company had. And it was a huge success for our partner and us here at the AJCC.
I want to thank you both for sharing dynamic results and success stories of businesses that you're working with, and giving us some insight today as to what it looks like serving businesses, leading a team of business services representatives. What you do is not easy, and I want to applaud you and thank you for that. And as we close here, in 1 or 2 sentences, I always think back to when I started in business services. What do I wish I would have known when I first started? Because you learn as you go. And how can that be advice to those that are out there that are getting started? And so I want to hear from you real quick, 1 or 2 sentences. If you could think back to when you first started in workforce development, serving businesses, what advice would you give to your past self when you were getting started that could be a nugget of advice to those that are perhaps listening that are getting started, or maybe just an aha moment in business services? Thomas, I'll start with you and then we'll close with Donna.
Absolutely. I would say that the ability to be open to utilize innovation more quickly, including systems that we have in the county. There are some insights by doing that more quickly, and I would say it's an advantage. and you can't do enough outreach. So the ability to also make sure that you keep that a priority. I'd say those are probably the two biggest insights, I'd say.
Yeah, I would like to second that. Definitely, there's not enough outreach that you can do, along with the authenticity and the strengthening of relationship building beside just business. The ability to learn more about the person that you're meeting with, the organization itself, the person that is representing that organization. The more of an authentic relationship you build with those people, the better chances that you will have a strong relationship with the business as a whole.
Great feedback. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Thomas. I could talk business services for hours with the two of you, and look forward to catching up with both of you soon at your local programs. But want to thank you for joining us today on the Hub. And to those of you that are listening, check out KRA's website, www.kra.com. We have more information around our services, and specifically business services. If you're an employer, if you're a job seeker, if you are in the world of workforce development and want to connect with us, you can connect through our website. But I want to again thank Thomas and Donna for joining us today on this part of our series, Get to Know KRA, as we have talked about business services. We'll have to have you guys on again at some point. Thank you both.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you for listening to KRA's The Hub. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. To learn more about KRA Corporation, visit www.kra.com. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll be back soon with a new episode.